Good evening, panel members. Considering the time constraint, we are cutting it shorter than the expected time what we had. Okay. So basically, we have CTO Vinod is here, CIO VV Jacob is there, CISO Ms. Adarsh Nair is there. So VVJ, we fondly call him. VV Jacob, we call him as VVJ. That's the known market name for him. So I'll address him as VVJ itself. Okay. So we'll start with CISO itself. With the AI-driven systems making more autonomous decisions, potentially handling sensitive data, how you ensure that it falls under the GDPR compliant?
Sure. Yeah. So thanks, Kunal. You know, obviously AI is one of the prominent topic that we all are talking, and when we look at any product or any solution, AI is one of the mandatory factor that is being considered at this moment. Absolutely, it is helping a lot. It's increasing the efficiency. It's saving the time. A lot of things are there. But when it comes to an organization or for any implementation, how it is going to handle the data and how it is securing the data, that becomes the much critical than its implementation or its usability. Okay, so in an organization, there are two aspects. Okay, for every organizations, they are building a solution that is using an AI capability, or they are using some kind of off-the-shelf products. Okay, so let me talk about the first part. Okay, if we are building a solution for some kind of use. Okay, one of the common thought process that I think most of the industries are following is, when designing a solution or when building a solution, these aspects has to be start from the beginning. Okay, in the earlier days, like when we talk only about security, we talked about the shift left or secure coding practices, following the OWASP guidelines, right? But now the privacy also one of the key factor, because GDPR, CCPA, and even India DPDPA, it's quite important to follow the regulations or the basic principles of data privacy. So privacy by design and privacy by default, these are the one common or one major philosophy that's being considered when developing this product. Privacy by design and default means during the design phase itself, the privacy factors has been considered. Let's say the purpose limitation, the data minimization, the privacy accountability, all those factors have been considered from the beginning of the design itself. Okay, default means the privacy is one of the default control for whatever solutions or whatever control that we are building. So this is one of the prominent concept that's being considered when developing the product. And moving to the second category, when we are buying an off-the-shelf product, like one product that's clearly using some AI model to take some decisions. One of the common or one of the major concerns when it comes to an AI solution is its black box nature. How the model is going to be, taking the decision, or how it is going to treat my data. Is the decision is a biased or it's a fairness is being considered. So responsible AI is the one another principle that organizations are being adopted to make sure that all these concerns are being addressed. So the solutions and AI, especially the AI solutions, now the organization, especially the major players in the market, they started adopting the responsible AI, and one of the major outcome or the peculiarity of responsible AI is it is protecting the privacy. So all these factors will be considered, including the differential privacy or the federated learning kind of concept. Federated learning is nothing but our Google keyboard, right? So if we are typing something, it's predicting the next word. What they are doing, they are not actually sending the word to the server. Rather than it's locally training the model, and that specific learning part only sending to the centralized server as an aggregate. There it will aggregate and keep the learning. So those kind of technologies are being considered for all the AI implementation, so that we can protect the data and protect the privacy. Yeah.
So I was speaking to VVJ. VVJ was enlightening us on this black boxing part you were talking. So does your company, because UST being a global vendor across all the regions, does they adopt such sort of black boxing of AI, or they depend on subscriptions of public domain itself?
So we are actually, leveraging a lot of products from outside, off-the-shelf product. Also, we are building internally. We have a, responsible AI practice and AI governance practice and framework that we have implemented. And see, one of the point that I missed in the earlier question is like, AI governance program is one of the must to have for an organization if they want to adopt AI, because a lot of factors has to be considered. And I have seen in many organizations, they have set up an AI ethics board or AI governance council. So they are the ultimate body to take a decision what are supposed to, what kind of things that we are supposed to do. So those kind of practices that we are following to make sure that whatever we are building is ethically correct and it's following the responsible AI principle to protect the privacy as well as the security of the data.
So for your AI, you have a human loop also to verify it,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Yeah. So this answers Sanjay's question about whether we lose a job when the AI is in fact the job increases, because to monitor an AI we need a human loop across.
Right, and because AI is not cutting down the job, but rather than it actually shifting the mindset. Okay, so the typical or the conventional job roles will be moved away from the more manual or less automated kind of stuffs to more AI based, like our agentic AI, more AI based approach that the people has to follow. Absolutely, we have to upskill our mindset, like how we can effectively leverage the AI solution, or how we can use the AI to build a better solution or to do the better things for the organization. That's the mindset that we really want to build.
Thank you, Adarsh. So next question is towards VVJ. He's from the media industry, so basically we know it's a legacy system running there from years. So how AI you have used across to bring your legacy monolithic system towards the new trends of modernized system? And what examples of AI you have deployed across? For example, for a flood search, if you want to search across a news or a data, are you fetching it across? Because before you start, I would like to give an example, because 2017 and 18, when me and Prince were colleagues across, Prince came across to my desk and said, Jose, do you know this? If in the Google Photos you put a red cap, you will get a collection of all the photos which is red cap. It's in 2017-18 we're talking about, okay, and the advent was not that big enough. I was also surprised. From that era, we started knowing that these things have been incorporated almost there in the domain. It was not public enough, but it was being done at the back ends. So something like that sort of you guys have deployed across?
Anyway, we were having a deeper discussion about all these things prior to this because we had enough time. So I think most of our panel discussions were happened during
Offline.
that time, offline. So for the sake of who are not part of our discussion, probably will discuss. So one is, he is asking a right question about legacy. So the person among this group, the legaciest person is me. So I know fundamentally what are the legacy things. So, AI itself. So you have to really rethink the way in which you see the application. So unless you don't do that, whatever legacy sits in your organization sits there. So one is, so in the AI adoption journey, you have two phases. One is a short-term patch, where whatever you think can be fixed within the short-term period, you can fix it with some short-term methods. But the applications, the architecture, everything has to change to the world of AI. Otherwise, you will be left behind. See, because the way in which things are happening, we are moving to containers, we are moving to a lot of new ways in adopting technology. So, unless you don't move your application to a new era, so legacy can't handle it for a lot of period. So, we were having Ambassador Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 4. After some mark, it will stop. So, you have to change to a different car model, the car technology. That's the same way it happened. So, a few things, like you were saying, the one is in the search part, we have moved to semantic search, which was not possible in the earlier days. Then, we started doing image search, so which was also not possible during earlier days. I think we moved to private AI almost 1 year back, which is a VMware way of implementing things on-prem. So we actually done a lot of things in-house, even like we were discussing. On the programming phase itself, a lot of content, we don't want to send it to cloud, or the generic engines, because it consumes a lot of tokens. So we actually find a way to use cursor to locally use Cloud or Cloud Coder as the local engine to do that. So all these need some kind of an investment. We have to buy few cards like H100 or H200 locally to run these models. So all this you'll have to invest something for. Before that, you should have a proper plan. Otherwise, whatever investments you do might not withstand. And again, security is also one more major concern, because you can have all IAM or whatever, all those things. But in spite of the fact, we don't know what all things go and what all things stay local. So you will say that, okay, anonymize the data and then use the content for all these things. To anonymize the data, you need to read the data, right? So while reading the data, so what is the guarantee that it is not taking exposed? So we have to trust. The trust, basically in today's world, it is a total right. Because geopolitical things happening and somebody want to take the data, so they can take the data. So we'll see, okay, we are trusting it, and end of the day, somebody really want to take the data, they can take the data. So those are the thought process.
One question, one more, sir, because Sanjay was asking, how you convince the board in terms of deploying such technologies. So how convincing?
That is the advantage of staying with one organization for quite some time. I'm actually with the organization for 34 years. I'm so sorry to tell that, but those are the privileges where you can say, okay. Obviously, it's a right question, but somewhere you need to show the guts to justify. Like I said, see, there are ways and means to convince. Of late, to raise a threat for the young generation, I started doing programming, because see, my programmers, there is a notion for each and everything. Use AI, everything will be solved. Even if your the flush in your closet is not working, they will call IT and say, use AI to fix that. So that is the kind of mindset people have. So people say that, okay, using AI, you can get rid of all the programmers, coding can be done automatically. So when we tried, our team was saying that, okay, it's not possible. Then I actually thought, why it is not possible? So we have to do a touchstone. Basically, I'm a Christian. St. Thomas touched the Jesus Christ and then analyze that he is alive or not. So I actually followed the same route. So I actually tried, why can't I learn something and try doing this? So when I tried, I found that, okay, see, you can ask AI to generate a code. So it was just like, getting a code in the earlier days in DBase or Foxbase days. And if you ask AI to create an Amazon equivalent site for me, it'll give you a complete text site with, okay, enter your product name, quantity, this thing, and you will surprise, is it the output? So it actually mandated that you need to know about the technology. You need to know about the front end, back end, database. Then only you can ask AI to generate at least the proper code. So you need to know what you are doing properly beyond earlier people were saying that, okay, prompting is the right job. So I was also getting older, so I am trying all the tricks to stay in the market. So let me try with prompting. So prompting alone won't work. You need to know about the technology. What are the front-end technology, back-end technology, the database things, then only you can survive. So you need to know about things, otherwise the hope that AI will support you is a myth. So these are the things. So I tried a lot of things. Then I was talking to my management. Okay, this is what happens. So this is the way in which we have to move. So to move forward, these are the threads. See, earlier on DPDPA, it was said that even media is covered under DPDPA. Luckily, they removed me, so I can talk whatever I want. I don't have to reveal the source of the of whatever I talk. Say, I think you also will have a similar advantage. But earlier it was said that, okay, we have to give the source. So for each and everything, we have to preserve a lot of things. Even we have to, even whatever we take, collect a lot of data, we need to maintain the permissions, whatever the permissions we took. So all these needs a lot of infrastructure. So going forward, I think it needs a proper infrastructure to run the business. So in a proper AI fashion. And I was saying, it is not mandate that for every workload you need H100 or 200. Even for a lot of inferencing, L40 is enough. Even your local machine itself is enough to carry out a lot of things. So you need to identify which are the workload, where you are going to put, how you are going to inference, or are you going to create an LLM or train them. So each action you need a proper analysis. It takes a lot of time, and initially you will little burn your fingers, then only you will get to know what is happening, whatever. So I think I actually went to the nursery school of AI 1 year back. So I actually studied a little bit. So I am now promoted to the play school.
Thank you, VVJ. So VVJ has coined a new word from closet to coding. Use AI. Okay. So that's it. It covers Sanjay's query about whether we are going to lose job based on AIs. There's a human loop always allowed. VVJ also confirmed that. The next to Vinod, being a CTO, from the perspective, what is the primary goal of IT to create business value? How can we move beyond using AI as a tool for operational efficiency and instead leverage it for direct revenue earnings? So can you throw some light on that?
Yeah, thank you very much. So as a CTO, I can say the AI is not not only tool, it's a growth multiplier, or it's a income generation project. So we, the financial sector company, we focus on the customer first company. So the customer trust means the speed and trust will matter. So the speed and trust, we can adopt AI for the faster loan sanctions, prediction of customer payments, and fraud detection. This can be adopted, which will leverage the customer experience. For example, if we adopt a AI loan sanction project or AI prediction analysis, so it will increase the loan process. AI can predict the customer history, and it will speed up the sanction process. And the AI can predict the payment pattern, and it can help the customer to not fall under default or making late fee for the company. Then enable, for example, virtual charts. So the rural areas, the customer can interact with the AI for regional language. It will increase, obviously, customer experience. So this one will help us to customer trust. So the trust and the speed will be the main factor for the company like us to get in grow and get into income also. So next, again, ROI.
No, I'm saying, how does it help in your direct revenue? Have you implemented
Yeah,
such
for
sort of-
example, so direct revenue is the customer retention will be the key for the company. So the customer retention will be based on the customer trust and how we are going to support there in terms of. So I told no. So the prediction of the customer habit and he helped the customer to put into NPA. So when this NPA goes, what will happen? The customer will have a bad experience. So the retention will become low. So this is the fact. We believe the increase the customer experience.
The final questions for all of you. All of you have to mandatorily answer this because this is a generic query across the board. Okay. So looking at the bigger picture, how do we see traditional roles of IT professionals like our network professionals, administrators, security auditors, compliance analysts, and developers evolving as AI takes one or more of the routine? What VVJ already cleared, it's not pure fact you need to have a person across. But what skills will be most critical for the next generation of IT leader? Anyone can start it.
Okay. So as far as I know, the IT role not going to disappear. It has some move on to some with value. For example, if you take network admin, so the current scenarios, what network admin does means they are configuring the router, routers and firewalls, etc., etc. So they may be into the box of like the intent type network. For example, they analyze the business and based on the business they can give the instruction to the AI to configure. So the configuration and rest of putting firewall, ACL and all, that will do. So the network admin may be the AA validator, so they can validate. Similarly, security analysts and developers also, they can adopt the AI. And even the developer also not writing a single piece of code every time. They can work as an orchestrator, right? Coordinator for the integrate the AI components. Like, for example, the loan management system. No, we can the AI credit appraisal can be bring together the risk AI, the compliance AI. So what will happen now? The next step, the developer may be a solution designer. That's what going to happen. So at any way, there is no chance of the disappear of role. So my simple humble word is the technology always will not stand alone. The people will be the power to give the technology. So I think so there is no vanishing of the jobs, IT roles in future also.
Saying the role remains there, but they will have more technology.
Technology, they have to value on their knowledge, intelligence.
Okay. Do you promote your in-staff team to go ahead and...
Yeah, of course, because we keep on training, because we have a development team, infra team and security team. So we keep on train them to how to adopt the AI with their normal work routine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
BVJ?
I actually took a loan from his bank, so that is why he said that my job will be there. Otherwise, so he ensures that I pay the loan. Then he will change the statement. That is on the lighter note. Anyway, see, every day all this technology changes. So even NSX. So now you have to configure NSX for containers. So to configure NSX for containers, you can go in the visual route or you can just edit the YAML. So when you do a configuration on NSX, it generates the YAML. YAML you can customize, edit it and then change it for containers. So your roles change from the normal network admin to a YAML based network administrator. So from time to time, all these technologies changes on the firewalling side, on the networking side, on the security, the other security parameters on the web for those kind of things. So every day the changes happens. AI is just a one more stage to help you. So a lot of products came in the market to identify the RCA of a problem. So the moment you get a performance degradation, so you can go to different AI ops engine to identify why the degradation happened. So it will give you a kind of a prompt solution that might 50% work in your environment, 50% might not work. So you need to know what the technologies. End of the day, whoever handles the technology, they have to understand the technology in a much better way. Otherwise, if you simply rely on AI will come and do my work, it's a myth. So you will have to know bit more, deeper than what you know currently. Then a secure job. If you leave something open and it will handle everything for me, then I don't think that AI can help you because it is your attitude. So because now see, earlier we were handling few VMs. Now we are handling VM, we are handling object storages or objects or containers. So the shift has happened. So you have more to handle. So these tools will help you to handle all these things in a specified span of time. And there are a lot of conventional products, like even for IAM and other things, there are conventional products. Now the same products or newer products came into market. So we'll have to do a lift and shift from those products to a newer products, because every company tried to hold the IP or the way in which for creating a product, every company will incur a kind of cost. So they will see, so far we are concerned, can I recover the cost to the max? Because to rehash, so I was talking to VMware guys on yesterday. They actually created their vSAN completely. They have to rewrite the vSAN completely. So it's called ESA. So the ESA will give you 50x performance. But the kind of money and effort they have to put for rewriting the code is enormous. So all those things creates more job, more opportunity. We have to know about all these products and technologies. Obviously, surely, I will repay all his loans.
So Vijay's conclusion is that AI is like Shashi Tharoor. It speaks. You have to understand and interpret it. So whatever AI output is there, should be someone to interpret it properly. Because rightly Vijay said, previously we used to have NMS. We used to set thresholds, right, based on the CPU and memory and all that. Now all things, once you put the thresholds, AI monitors, reboots or brings up another server in, and all that option is there. But you should know how to utilize it and utilize. There's no point of having an AI tool at your place and not reading it out properly. Thank you, Vijay. Adesh, your comments on that?
Yeah, sure. So, I completely agree with what Vinod and Vijay said, and AI is going to, or it's already redefined the job roles or job description, like what Vijay said, like from a CIO to a programmer. Similarly, just on later part, a lot of job description has been changed. But one point actually we have to keep in our mind, the domain expertise and the in-depth knowledge of a technology or a framework or something, that's absolutely required even though it's AI is there. But from a programmer or a network engineer or a security person, one of the things that we have to keep in our mind, or we have to make sure that how can leverage AI to save time, or how can leverage AI to take better decisions. Okay, so for example, from an auditor perspective, one of the key challenges that most of the auditors or the implementation people are facing is how I can interpret the control requirements. If there is let's say for example ISO 27001, there are 93 controls are there, right? So how I can interpret the controls and how I can effectively implement the most effective controls for my organization, considering the nature of business or nature of data or nature of customer that I am dealing with. So that's one major area that the people are struggling. There I can use an AI solution or even the basic Gemini or ChatGPT or something. I can get a better understanding like, hey, what exactly the control is looking for, how I can effectively implement. It will save a lot of time and will help to implement the right solution or right control for the organization. This is just one example from an auditor perspective.
Your NC.
Yes, absolutely. NC and how I can, become more mature over a period of time. So that will give the clear path or clear guideline how your organization is supposed to follow. Even one of the basic framework that most of the organizations are following to understand their maturity in a security standpoint is absolutely the NIST CISF framework, right? So that also, with the help of AI, we can translate that into what is exactly required for our organization. See, all these standards are generic one, but yeah, time is up. It's a warning. Okay, fine. I will. Time's up. Okay, I will end up very soon. Okay, so in a short, doesn't matter it's a developer or auditor or a security analyst. You have to think about how you can leverage AI, how you can upskill, because nowadays with using AI or these kind of solution, there's a huge, a huge number of resources available. We can learn ourselves, we can upskill, and we can think about our rational thinking to understand how I can effectively leverage AI in our respective areas. That's the best thing that we have to do.
Panelists on this. Okay, so our time is already up. I think we have overrun by 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I don't know. We haven't seen the time across. Thanks. Good speaking to you guys. Thank you guys.